Hello, I'm Cam Sterling from Technology Connections. Welcome to this Technology Corner discussion regarding iPhones and smartphones. If you have any topics that you'd like me to cover in future Technology Corner segments, please phone Golden Days Radio on 9572 1466, or you can text us on 0447 096 472. Love them or hate them, Apple iPhones and alternative smartphones are everywhere, and they can be pretty handy. Let's take a look at what iPhones and smartphones can be used for and compare the pros and cons of iPhones against smartphones from other manufacturers. iPhones and smartphones allow us to make and receive phone calls and text messages, but they also allow us to take and look at photographs, record video, listen to music, watch movies, read news and current affairs articles, check weather forecasts and rain radar, see flight arrival and departure times, perform our banking, buy goods and services, check petrol prices, get live sports scores. Basically anything that we can access from the internet is available in a pocket-sized computer. Well, maybe an oversized pocket. The little pictures or icons that we see on smartphones are called apps, which is short for applications, and they're like the programs on computers. There are literally millions of apps, everything from calendars to calculators, maps, timers, stopwatches, even public transport schedules. Most apps are free. Some apps include advertising, and some apps allow us to turn the advertising off by paying a few dollars. How would I decide between buying an iPhone or one of the many competing phones from manufacturers such as Samsung, Google, Nokia, Oppo, Motorola? Let's start with the Apple iPhone, the original and some would say still the best. Compared to other smartphones, iPhones are quite intuitive to use. They're reliable and the apps are subject to very strict quality and security checks from Apple. Perhaps one of the biggest selling points for iPhones is their camera quality. They can take really nice photographs, often even in imperfect light conditions. With all of these benefits, why would I go past an Apple iPhone? Well, they are relatively expensive. The latest model iPhone 14 will set you back around $1,900. Now, there are many models available, ranging for around $600 for older models to over $2,000 for the latest and greatest. It is possible to purchase refurbished iPhones, but I've heard several stories of people who have had poor experience with this. In summary, the iPhones are very high quality, reliable smartphones with a lot of functionality, and they are a bit on the expensive side relative to alternatives. So let's talk about other smartphones. Most of the alternative smartphones to Apple's iPhone run on software from Google called Android. Now, Google provides the Android software for free to manufacturers including Samsung, Oppo, Nokia, and others. And Google also make their own smartphones called Google Pixels. Now, Android smartphones do very similar things to what Apple iPhones do, but they mostly cost a lot less than iPhones, often half the cost. Apart from some of the more expensive Samsung and Nokia Pixel models, which are priced similarly to iPhones, most Android phones take lesser quality photos than iPhones do. The apps on Android phones are subject to less controls than what Apple places on their iPhones, so occasionally little things can go wrong on Android phones. For example, an app might mysteriously restart itself. Having said that, I moved across from iPhones to Android phones in 2015, mostly for cost reasons, and I'll never move back to iPhone. My latest Nokia smartphone cost me $400 a couple of years ago, and I recently helped my dad to purchase a $300 Android phone which meets all of his needs. If you're comparing iPhones with the Android alternatives, keep in mind your prior smartphone experience. So if you've already had an iPhone or an Android phone, moving from an iPhone to Android or vice versa can be a bit tricky because there are small but important differences in the way that they work. Another consideration if you're weighing up your options is knowing what smartphones your family and friends use. If you're looking to get some help with your phone from your family or friends, it will probably be a lot easier for them to help you if you're on a similar model to that which they're using. Now, all smartphones, whether they're iPhone or Android, require access to the internet in order for us to make the most of them. If you're at home and you've got Wi-Fi set up, you can connect up for no additional cost. When you're away from home or other sources of Wi-Fi, then you'll need a mobile phone plan that includes some mobile data. Unless you're planning to stream Netflix, KO or similar services to your phone, it's unlikely that you'll need a lot of mobile data each month. And streaming video is probably better enjoyed on the larger screen of a smart TV or an iPad, but that might be a topic for future Technology Corner segments. I'm Cam Sterling from Technology Connections, and if you'd like any help buying, installing, fixing or upgrading computers, smartphones, iPads or smart TVs, please phone me on 0414 482 542.